From our earliest moments, we're taught to respect authority. The teacher, the doctor, the police officer. And it makes sense, right? This instinct for order is pretty much what holds our society together. It's this fundamental pillar of trust that lets us cooperate and build things. But what happens when that very instinct, the one designed to keep us safe, gets turned into a weapon against you? Today, we are going to deconstruct one of the most psychologically powerful and financially devastating scams out there: authority fraud.
The ultimate tool of the sophisticated scammer isn't code or technology. It's the power of the uniform and the title. See, the real hack, the one that truly matters here, isn't happening to your computer or your bank account. Not at first anyway. The real hack is happening inside your own brain. This is a direct assault on the trust mechanisms you rely on every single day, an exploit targeting the very software of human psychology.
So to really get a grip on this threat, we need to break it down. We're going to move through 6 parts. We'll start with the authority paradox, then look at our obedience instinct. After that, we'll get forensic with the scammer's blueprint and really understand the hijacked brain. And then, most importantly, we're going to arm ourselves with the unbreakable defense and lock it all down with your final mantra.
All right, first up, the authority paradox. This is where we have to confront a pretty difficult truth. Our instinct to obey legitimate authority, well, that's not a weakness. It's the foundation of civilization. It's what allows for laws and medicine and education to even exist. But hidden inside this strength is a critical vulnerability, one that criminals have become absolute experts at exploiting.
And this brings up a huge question. How can an instinct that's all about order and safety become our single greatest financial risk? It just doesn't seem to make sense. Trusting someone who says they're an official should make you safer, not poorer. We are wired to spot obvious threats, physical danger or really bad lie. But these scammers, they've figured out how to flip that script. They wrap their attack in the very symbols we associate with protection, turning our best instincts into their most powerful weapon.
Okay, on to section 2, our obedience instinct. To understand how we get manipulated, we first have to understand the flaw in our own programming. And listen, this isn't about being unintelligent or naive or gullible. Not at all. It's about being human. This instinct is ancient. It's coded into us from thousands of years of evolution where trusting the leader of the tribe was, frankly, a requirement for survival. And today, that same instinct is being used against us on a massive scale.
The psychological principle that's really at work here is called authority bias. Think of it as a mental shortcut, a heuristic. It's your brain's way of saving energy. Instead of analyzing every single situation from scratch, it looks for patterns. And when we see a uniform or hear an official title like IRS or Social Security Administration, our brain takes that shortcut. It just assumes, okay, this is legit, I need to listen. The scammer knows this. In fact, their entire attack is built around exploiting it.
And the stage for this is set from the time we're kids. We're conditioned by society, by our schools, by our parents, to trust titles like IRS, bank, or tech support. So when a scammer calls with a story like, "There's a problem with your tax return," or "We've detected fraudulent activity on your account," it hits a pre-programmed button in our minds. Their goal is super specific. First, silence your skepticism, and second, command immediate compliance. They don't want you to think, they want you to react, and they're in a race against time to get control before your rational mind kicks in.
So that brings us to our forensic breakdown in Section 3, the scammer's blueprint. And I want to be clear, this is not some random chaotic crime. It is a cold, calculated, and totally predictable system of attack, and it has very distinct phases. We're going to dissect it piece by piece so you can spot it a mile away. The attack almost always kicks off with a technology called VoIP spoofing. Now, in simple terms, this just lets a criminal anywhere in the world disguise their phone number. So your caller ID might pop up with your bank's real number or the local police department's number. This isn't just a little trick. It's the key that unlocks the entire scam. Because when you see that familiar name on the screen, it just feels right. Your brain lowers its guard and accepts the call as legit before a single word is even spoken.
Now, once they're through that door, they execute a 3-stage coercion system. Stage 1 is initiation. This is where they use that spoof number and an official-sounding title to capture authority and credibility. Stage 2 is escalation. Here, they deepen their control by giving you a command and, this is crucial, isolating you from everyone else. And finally, Stage 3 is extraction, where they walk you through exactly what to do to get the money and then make sure you keep quiet about it. And then comes the hook. This is the crucial moment. They introduce a high-stakes crisis. There's a warrant for your arrest. Your bank account has been compromised and it's being drained right now. It's a massive injection of fear, and it's designed to jolt you into a fight or flight response.
In that single moment, the scammer stops being just some person on the phone and becomes the sole authority figure in a crisis that they just invented.
Then they tighten the screws. This is the psychological choke point. The scammer will say something like, "For security reasons, you cannot hang up this call. You can't talk to anyone else until this is resolved." This is the isolation tactic. By telling you that you can't hang up, they prevent you from doing the one thing that would expose them instantly, checking with someone else. They trap you in this closed loop where their voice is the only thing you hear. And at that point, here's where the manipulation flips, and you're completely under their control.
So let's dig into why this is so devastatingly effective. Section 4, the hijacked brain. We've seen what they do, now we need to understand the psychology of why it works on so many smart, capable people.
So to really get this, think of your brain as having two different operating systems. Let's call them System 1 and System 2. System 1 is fast, automatic, emotional, instinctive. It's what makes you duck when a ball flies at your head. System 2 is the opposite. It's slow, rational, analytical. It's the part you use to solve a math problem. The scammer's entire strategy is to trigger and trap you in that panicked, emotional System 1 while doing everything they can to shut down your logical, analytical System 2. They are literally waging war on your rational mind.
And these are their weapons. They use fear conditioning, the threat of jail time or losing all your money. They hit you with cognitive overload, bombarding you with complex jargon and intense urgency to confuse you. This triggers a panic response, where you actually start to see the scammer not as the threat, but as the only one who can save you. And the primary goal of all of this? The complete suppression of critical thought. They need you to obey, not to think.
Okay, we've been through the problem, the system, and the psychology. Now for the most important part. Section 5, the unbreakable defense. We're pivoting from the problem to the solution, and I want to be really clear. This isn't a list of tips or suggestions. This is your mandatory protocol to make yourself completely immune to this attack.
The key is pattern recognition. An impersonation scam almost always follows this simple three-part formula. Let's call it the red flag pattern. First, the claim of authority. They say they're the IRS, the police, your bank. Second, the unsolicited contact. They called you out of the blue. And third, the demand for an unconventional action. They want a wire transfer, gift cards, or for you to download software. A real institution will never do this. When you see these three things together, it's not a possibility of a scam, it is a 100% certainty. So, the moment you recognize that pattern, you deploy the Mandatory Disconnection protocol. There is no negotiating, there's no debating. Step 1, you state, "I will call back using an official number to verify this." That's you reclaiming control. Step 2, disconnect. Hang up the phone. Immediately. No exceptions. This is the single most important action you can take. It breaks the isolation and shatters their entire system. And step 3, verify. You independently find the organization's real public phone number on their official website on the back of your credit card, and you call them directly. This is how you get back to reality.
Okay, let's move to our final section and really lock this in. Section 6, your final mantra. This is the core principle that will act as your permanent psychological armor against this kind of manipulation.
I want you to remember this. The only voice you must obey in a crisis is your own critical, verified instinct. The scammer wants you to hand over your thinking to them. They want you to believe their authority is more important than your own judgment. The ultimate defense is to take that authority back. This isn't about becoming cynical or distrustful, it's about making your own well-being the highest authority you answer to. Your gut instinct, backed up by independent verification, is the most powerful tool you have. So, let's end with the one rule that will always keep you safe. Burn this into your memory. Authority that demands secrecy is never legitimate. Hang up and verify. A real bank, a real government agency, a real police department will never tell you that you cannot hang up and call them back through an official channel. They will never demand secrecy. That demand for isolation and secrecy is the final definitive proof of a scam. It's the telltale heart of the entire fraud. Remember that, and you will be safe.